Good evening, good evening, good evening. I should probably make that intro just a little bit longer because it takes like 2 minutes for Facebook and YouTubes and Instagrams and all those shenanigans to know that I'm here. But I am Travis Gibb. I am the creator and producer and publisher of a whole bunch of stuff. Orange Cone Productions mostly. But tonight we're going to talk about the Tales of the Collective. They are a great group of people. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about their new Kickstarter that's live. We're going to talk about people who are in the Halloween special, people who are coming into it as well. We're going to talk about their Kickstarters. We're going to do our normal thing, hang out for like an hour, just shoot the shit, talk. If you guys can comment, let me know that you're here. That would be great because I don't know if you're here. I need to know you're here to make me feel safe, all right? I need to know that all the YouTubes and the Instagrams and the Twitters are all getting out there and that you can see me, hear me. So if you can leave a comment, and even in your comment, if you want to insult me, that's fine. Rock and roll. John says we are live. So that's the Facebook. So I just need that YouTube. I see some people on YouTube right now. If you guys can do that message, let us know you're here. But I'm going to introduce people into the stream who are here. Let them know that you are here just hanging out, doing the thing. So first, we're going to get people who are in the Tales of the Collective Halloween special that is live on Kickstarter right now for the next 10 days. First things first, writer of Freak Show Night Herald, Peter. How are you, brother?
Doing pretty good. How you doing, man?
Yeah. Hold on. Chuck's getting excited. Chuck, do your cheer.
Yeah!
Yeah, Chuck's not here yet, so we'll move Chuck. Peter, Freak Show Herald, that's a great book in the new Tales of the Collective, which is really exciting. So how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. Anything? Any gossip? Anything to any drama before we start?
Any drama? Jeez. I did finish Dog Days. I have read it now.
Okay. Your review. I'd love to hear your review.
Maybe you should have had your wife edit it. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Chuck will cheer for that too. See, Chuck.
Yeah! Woo!
See, yeah. So my wife should edit it. But beyond the editing, how do you feel?
No, it's a good book. It's a really good story.
I appreciate it.
I sat down, read it all in one sitting.
So second here, we have the cheerer of the crowd, Mr. Lincoln Bial himself, Chuck Binu.
Woo! Yeah! Take it off! Oh, guys, come on, please.
Wearing his Black Lives Matter, official Black Lives Matter, of the Punisher. Tell that story real quick. Give it like a 1 minute, 30-second story.
Don Wynn, the creator, I can't remember his name right now, the creator of the Punisher, during 2020, he wanted to take the Punisher logo back. Don Wynn did this badass logo, and then he asked for a couple people to help create a new Punisher for a new age. So myself and two other authors, we did a 2-page new Punisher story, which was badass and super cool, and he liked it. So that was really cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So you've got Link coming in the story. Danny says hello. Danny, you were at an effing movie. Do not have your friggin' phone out at the movie. He's watching Black Adam.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Somewhere there's someone sitting right behind Danny that's just angry as all hell.
Next up, we have The Descent, the two creators of The Descent, the owner of the collective. Lots of really cool people. So we've got Brendan himself working on. Whoa, that does not sound good. Your mic sounds horrible. You're gonna have to mute it. You can say hi, but then you're gonna have to mute that shit.
You may not be able to hear us over the mic.
Can you hear us? I can mute you.
It would seem he's parked next to a waterfall.
And then his co-creator, Ethan, he can talk fine, I think. Everything's good.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Look at Ethan. Like, us are just sitting there in various states of dishevel. And Ethan's like, yeah, I'm a good-looking man. What up?
I mean, this is how I normally look. It's not.
Collective, Brendan says he doesn't have any audio.
Hi, Brendan.
Not good. Not good. Try talking. Say something. Hold on, I typed it. Say something.
There you go.
Nope.
Danny, you need to leave the movie and go help him out.
Yeah.
No, Danny's out there. Yeah, Danny, you need to leave the movie right now. I'm gonna have to mic you right now. All right. Sorry. Brendan, I know that. Why don't you just grab your laptop and just click that link? I bet you it would work better on your laptop. Forget the whole setup. Just put your laptop in front of you and try to come back on. Oh, he can't hear me. I don't know why I said that. Ethan, can you type that to him in chat?
Sure. Extreme close.
Bren, gave you guys a share. Thank you. Kevin Parent, used to be a behemoth. I don't know what the new thing is, but it's a thing.
He's whatnot, I believe.
No, whatnot. Oh yeah, he's even gone beyond that. Yeah, not even trying. And then last but not least, we have Ed Davis. So it's kind of curious of why Ed Davis is here, because Ed Davis has nothing to do with the Tales of the Collective yet. Ed Davis is part of Tales of the Collective 2023. He also has a Kickstarter going on right now, so we figured we'd invite him on, let him hang with us, and do that whole thing. So good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Great.
I think you got to Brendan because he is attempting to go on the laptop. So we'll see what happens.
Looks like it, yeah.
Look at how excited he was, too. He was all set up, had this all set up. Nothing. So tonight we're going to be talking about this. I'm going to send the link in the chat. We are talking about Tales of the Collective Halloween special. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to allow everybody to talk about their particular stories and what's going on. And how you came to be part of the project. And, we'd like to see it funded. We'd like to do some stuff. If you guys are in the area, Peter, Ethan, you're coming, right? On the 29th? Yep. Mm-hmm. Myself, the Bag Brothers who did the story will all be there signing on the 29th. It's really cool. Chuck did one for the first edition. So that was pretty cool. But we're going to try to do that. But let's start with you, Peter. Tell us about Freak Show Herald. I'm going to bring it up on the screen and just tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. So my buddy Jonathan Hedrick created this kind of universe he called the Freak Show universe, where it's kind of zombie stories, sort of Night of the Living Dead and that sort of stuff to it. And we have a local writers group here in Brevard, and we were meeting a lot. And I was going to the meetings talking about the things that I was attempting to write for my daughter to do. And it was actually Dave Galliano. Just kind of pulled me aside one day and said, why don't you write something for somebody else to draw? And I kind of chewed on that a little bit, and I went home, and it was over actually a Christmas break. I started writing this zombie story about just kind of a governor's press secretary during a zombie apocalypse. And, he's getting up in front of people. We have our own experts and this and that. And of course, people are being like chewed on behind him and the like. I realized, it kind of like fit within that whole Freak Show universe. So I talked to Jonathan about it. He said, let's make it happen. So I did some talking around, and Travis introduced me to the Bags Brothers. And they did an absolutely amazing job with the story. I absolutely love it. And got Steve Eckstrom doing the letters, and there's actually there's an alternate cover for just that story that my daughter Emily did end up doing, including her own stuff too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And as you can see, it is completed right there. So the whole story is complete. Like I said, we're going to have it on display on the 29th. We'll have it. But Chuck, let's talk about the return of Link. Link getting 2 stories in 2022. That's a big step for Link.
It's a huge step. It's a massive step. And I think he was a little pissy because in the last 2 Belials, he didn't get near as much screen time as he did in the first one. So I think he was like, no. I'm stepping up in a big way. I'm going to do one without the big guy. So if there is no Belial in this is all Link.
Now, is this because I didn't do a crossover with Cthulhu Invades, and this is your like pitch package?
Honestly, I've been doing a fair amount of of Cthulhu stuff, and I just thought at one point I was like, how hilarious would it be for Cthulhu to face off with Link, because Cthulhu is the god of fear and Link is completely stupidly fearless.
Right.
What does that look like? And so when that kind of came to my head, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a match made in heaven. So I had to write it and see what that would look like. And it looks like this craziness right here.
So I think let's see if we got Brendan now. Let's see if we got him. Can you talk? No, nothing.
I've got no sound.
Yeah, oh, we can hear you now.
We can hear you. We hear you.
Okay. Oh, hold
There-
on. I'm going to text you.
But we're getting there. We're halfway there. Before we were 0% there, but we're halfway there now. So we'll see what happens on that. He doesn't use this on the regular. He's the owner of the store. So Pete, I'm sorry, we're going to be neighbors. Oh, but see, Davey started living in our area. Has not once said, Travis, let's talk comics. It's really sad.
Dude. Dick move, Davey. Dick move.
Dick move. So I'm going to give him just a second, Ethan, so you see if we can get him on.
I was going to say, at least now we know which of the two of us Davey likes better.
Oh, he's asked you for lunch?
Now I'm here.
Go
ahead.
Nice.
Nice work.
Nice.
So you can hear it now?
That was a user error. I'll blame Danny, though.
Good call. That's what employees are for.
I'll tell you, he's at the movies. He's at the movies.
Right, doesn't he know it's 10:30 at night? This is prime comic book time.
It's Thursday night, and here I am. I'm just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. It's good to see you guys. I've been enjoying the show. I haven't heard anything, but I know it's all been good stuff. Thank you, Travis, for doing this, and thank you, Ethan, for being patient as well as you guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so let me. I'm going to send the link one more time. Again, we're at 53 backers. Let's get us a couple backers tonight. That's one of the goals tonight. So if you see this link, please share it through. Make sure that everybody sees it. And also, if you're in this program, make sure you share. Let people know that we're live. Yeah. That would be really nice. But before we go to talk about the Descent, Chuck, you are the editor of a second story beyond yours, correct? This little one right here?
Yes, I was. That's right. I got to edit. I am the editor of Fangs and Foul Play, which is going to be on Kickstarter in the next week or two. And so we did this really awesome, I think like 6-page story or whatever, where Fang meets up with Santa Claus. And Fang is a really cool story about a vampiric cat in like almost Victorian America. And he has this thrall, Richard, who basically takes care of him and gets bodies. And in this one, he teaches Fang all about Santa Claus, and it goes probably the way you would expect.
now, OK isn't here to address this, so maybe you do. When we pitched the idea for a Halloween special, and she gave me a Christmas special, perhaps you have an answer.
I think she's doing a riff on A Nightmare Before Christmas. That's going to be because it is horror themed. So I think that's what she was playing with. I mean, white girls, Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, it's a thing. We all know it is.
I love it. I love it. No,
they do.
And I'm a white girl because I love it too.
I always felt like you seemed like a white girl to me. I was like, this dude probably loves pumpkin spice. I can feel it.
If you pan down, you can see his Uggs.
I wear Crocs with the pins. With the pins with
the pins with the little Crocs on them.
Yeah. So next we're going to talk about the Descent. Just before, because Brendan is very good at making sure his stuff. I don't know what version I opened up, so if it's not the right version, don't get mad. It's all going to be good.
I hope there's only one version. I hope
Right.
that would be
All
the
right,
good
so
thing.
Ethan, Brendan, tell us about The Descent, how it came to be, and now as you're talking, I'll scroll through some of the pages.
I was pretty excited that finally got to put something on paper, and I was glad that Ethan got to work with me on it. It was something that I'd kind of pitched the story to him. We'd written out scripts, and then we needed something 5-6 pages. So the story is essentially back when there are more vampires than there really needs to be, back at around the turn of the century. And they're very aware that soon everybody's going to have technology. And with technology comes awareness. So these are the things that now they come to him, they come to one of the oldest vampires, a first line vampire, and they say, you know, we want you on board with this. And he gets rather insulted that they've gone ahead and made all these vampires where he doesn't really do that. So goes ahead and starts out. This is kind of the origin story of the vampire he makes just kind of as a parting gift, where then figure vampires don't live very long because they're reckless, they're hungry, they're just a mess, and they usually end up having to kill their own vampires, and they kill them off. So there's very few that make it, but there's still a lot of vampires out there. So as it comes, then this is the story of him kind of creating one that he's just going to then just let loose into the world.
Nice. Ethan, you got some stuff to add?
It was a lot of fun to draw. It was I think I ended up drawing the story probably 3 times before I was like, okay, because it's different interpreting a writer's, for as far as I know, this is the first time Brendan's done a comic with an artist, and it's the first time that I've done a comic with a writer. Usually I write and draw all my own stuff. So it was really, for me, I think I probably made it a little bit too much work on myself because I wanted it to be really good. But I'm really happy with the way it came out. But, luckily Brendan was real patient. And I think when we were done, I dropped off all the art for him. And he has like this stack of like the pages that are actually published, and then some covers, and then everything all the way down to the rough sketches and stuff. And so the process is all there, but it was, we learned a lot, I think, from each other. And we're probably, I would say sometime next year, we're going to get started on it while I do my stuff as well.
Well, yeah, and that's definitely something. Let's talk about that for a second before we go over the Kickstarter real quick, and then have Ed talk about his collaboration for 2023. We have, over the last couple of years, we've created Collective Press. Right, and what's that? What's your vision for that? I know currently we're using it for the Tales of Collective stuff. I know we're doing another one for 2023. Is the Halloween special going to be an ongoing thing, or depends, or what do we think?
I think it should be. I mean, I like any time that we have a kind of a milestone. Our milestones have kind of been in March, but we've had such a good turnout with so many indie artists and smaller press creators. So it's like, well, we could be a small press too,
Right.
We can kind of finance this and where we can put it together, and we can just get a lot of people out there, because one thing is a lot of people are passionate enough to come out and kind of meet the fans on a local level. It's great to have somebody in that's been published for years or whatever else, but I think a lot of our fans and a lot of the people that have been coming out have really kind of glommed onto a lot of just the locals that have made it out. And this was something, it was really kind of created by Danny when he reached out to you. I just didn't say no to anything. So that's kind of where we are right now, but it's also one of those things. So some of the books that we have probably a few extra copies of some of them, because you've got to go ahead and publish them like that. So I guess that's where I'm supposed to say, hey, go out and get our cover, because we're going to have like 50 copies of that cover out on the 29th. Plus we're going to have the 50 of another cover, and then we'll have another handful of covers for the regular edition. So no, we're looking forward to it. For small press, if it's something that we could kind of expand into in a small part of this store, if we expand the store where we could kind of cover some of those things, it would be, I mean, that's something that we would definitely want to pursue. You know, where it goes from there, you just kind of go where it guides you.
Nice. That's nice. Danny says, Davey Lee says, when's the President Day collector special? Teddy Roosevelt, the Kraken Strangler.
I love it.
Davey, I will edit that story for you for free. Make it happen.
We can do that. Yeah, I mean, there should be something for President's Day. Now, we won't do Columbus Day yet. That might be controversial, but you know, we can always find President's Day. That kind of goes both ways. So yeah, that's
maybe you can have two editions. You have a blue and red, and they're different, and
and we could judge people by which one they buy.
Really make people feel welcome and also ostracized at the same time.
Yes.
That's what you need to do.
We can have one side of the room canceling the other side of the room. That would be, see, that's something that we need.
See, I think you should do an Arbor Day special, and the whole thing will just be Groot fanfic.
Arbor Day, you know, it's like we need to plant trees because we just killed a lot of them to publish this thing.
Exactly.
I like it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, well, I try, man. I try.
But speaking of some of the covers, let's go over a couple of covers of this book. We've got a few. We've got one that I don't show on the Kickstarter on purpose. So we've got this. This is our standard cover going back to the classic. This is the classic. So it's got everybody on here. And what I like about this too is Descent is a new property, but Baal and Fang and Foul Play and Freak Show all have been around for a while. Freak Show has actually been published by what is that name of that company? Second Sight. Which is pretty cool. Baal is on issue 3 on Kickstarter. Fang Foul Play just started issue 2. I think that's really cool that we've got a lot of these people been around for a while and someone new on the block. I think that's one of the things that we've done very, very well on all the Tales of the Collective is that mix of new and original and things that have been around.
Yeah.
So that's cover A. And then you can speak about this one a little bit, Peter.
Yep. So that cover there is done by my daughter Emily. It's my 17-year-old. They approached her to do a cover. I think she did one of the covers for the first edition of the Collective Initiative, and were asked to do it again. So she had this idea of the zombie and vampire and Fang in an elevator, and I kind of told her, you know, all good elevators have that mirror in the back. So just remember, vampires don't reflect in mirrors. So just spent a little time back and forth with that one.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a fun one, and that one will be available that day. So the main cover A, this one. Then Chuck, we had to use this as a cover because it's awesome.
Thank you. That's our interior artist for Belial, the regular series. That's Greg Warrenchak on pencils and doing the inks. And then our boy who's going to step up, and he does tons of colors on our covers and whatnot, Chris Hall. So that was one where I told, most of the time we leave it up to Greg and we're just like, hey, Greg, do whatever. But this one, he hadn't really read the book. And so I just told him, I was like, it's Cthulhu versus Link. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. And I was like, yeah, I just want to do a fun little thing where Link is mooning Cthulhu, and he's like, yes, done. And he drew it all, and he had it all, and I thought it looked great. And then I was like, hey, can we put hearts on his boxers? And he was like, I was already going to do that. So, like, that whole thing, it was just like we were, like, so in sync, everybody. I didn't have to give any, like, that. That's exactly how I got it in colors, too. Like, when the colors showed up, I just had no edits. I was like, yep, let's send it off. I love it. So, yeah, man, I'm so happy and just love that cover so much. It speaks to Belial.
And this one, so we decided to go virgin or vegan to help with the algorithms. Does it help with the algorithm if I already say virgin and then go?
Probably. Especially if you keep saying it over and over.
Right. I don't think that helps.
That's an entirely different algorithm.
Right. But we decided to go that because Chris Mad's art is just so good.
Gorgeous.
I want to show all of Chris Mad's. And I think it'd be really interesting when people pick it up and go, why is this a Halloween special? This is just helping Brent, as he said. Maybe there's some extra copies to stick around for a while. Hopefully, if you keep this on the shelf long enough, Brendan, this will sell in December and confuse some people. So that'll help.
Halloween and Christmas are synonymous. You're just starting the Christmas season at Halloween. I mean, so it just kind of
just tell people it's Holiday Spirits 2.5. You're good.
It is. I mean, they don't sell a lot of turkeys, and so you just got to stay with it. Stay with those two holidays.
And as soon as Halloween's done, they start putting up the Christmas decorations anyways. So November 1st, that thing will it will look appropriate.
I was actually in Target this evening, and they already have Christmas stuff in there.
I was gonna say you can already go buy a fake Christmas tree and some ornaments, so they don't even wait. I think it's when summer ends, they're like, cool, bring out the Christmas stuff.
Back to school's done. Great Christmas.
And this was Ethan whipping this out really fast, very, very quick, and very, very awesome.
Ethan, you did great.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
We got to Brendan. So Brendan came up with this idea to homage the Lost Boys. So that is John Alvin is the creator of that poster. So I credited him on the bottom. But that famous Lost Boys poster is basically very similar to that, except we have Cthulhu in the back, which is much cooler, I think, than some of the other. I don't even remember anyone else in there besides Sutherland. But yeah, so Brendan came up with this idea, and then we were talking about doing a limited palette, so red, black, and white, and then it was fun. I like doing it because I got to interpret everybody else's characters. And like we said, it was like last minute, so yeah. It was easy to color as well, obviously, because it's like 3 colors. So it came out cool.
I just kept throwing more things at Ethan, and just to see when he would say, "Oh no more." But he just kept going back. I was like, "Oh, maybe this."
I aim to please, I like everybody to be happy. It's a problem.
Well, and then we got this too, which is the regular.
Yeah, that's the direct homage. That's the direct homage to John Alvin's work.
So that's very cool stuff. But we wanted to get a cover for the Tales of the Collective with all the characters together. That's something we do at least once. We do a regular one, and then we do the other one. So I think it's pretty cool. Let me bring up back the Kickstarter real quick. And by the way, guys, I know there's lots of people watching. Comment, talk to us, please.
Ask questions.
Ask questions, please. But yeah, so all these guys are in here. As you can see, there's some page previews here. Not that I didn't already show you. You can get Tales of Collective 2021, which has Voodoo Nations, mine, has Wendy Gale's Vixarian Tales, it has Capable, great story in that, and Final Growth, which if anybody knows David Galliano's number, please have him finish it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And then we did earlier this year, we did Volume 2, which had Black Sam, which is a book coming out, Pop Van Winkle. That will be there by the 29th. So we'll have copies of that available. 47 Furious Tales, which I have. A Baron, and I can't even think of his names. Cosmic Legacy.
The Cosmic,
which is another great. And all those covers are available, as well as any of the store exclusives that they have available at the store. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can get as add-ons or whatnot for Tales of the Collective 2022, the Halloween special. And this is kind of wild too. This is the first time we've done 2 Kickstarters in a year for the collective.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing to do because I'm not busy enough running other Kickstarters.
You've got a few things.
You are a busy dude. You are a busy dude.
So why not? So we're going to take a break. I'm going to share this out. So why I'm sharing this out? Hey, thank you. Someone backed it while we're on here.
Nice.
53. Thank you. Let's try to get another backer. I'm going to share this out. If you guys can share this out to your stuff, share that we're talking tonight. That would be great. Let's get some. But let's talk to Ed. I don't even think you know this, Brendan. Brendan, meet Ed. Ed, meet Brendan. Ed Davis does a wonderful book. Can you send me the link in the private chat so I can't find it, so I can easily find it, Ed?
Yeah, let me get that for you.
He is going to be in 2023's Tales of Collective. He runs a book called Immortal Era. He's out of California. It's on issue 7 right now with the trade, and then they're going to go into issue 8 early next year.
Yeah.
And we're working on 9 right now. So, yeah, it's moving forward.
Chuck's putting everything together for issue 9, doing the last edits, and Caesar's already started the first pages of art because Chuck said nothing we need to worry about in the first 4 pages. So the first 4 pages are almost done. So yeah, we're trying to blast out more issues this next year, as many as we possibly can. So that will be something, and then I'm going to be putting together something for the next collective with an Immortal Era story in it, so that we can try to get people in and hooked on the series and hopefully keep reading it, because it's something I'm going to be writing for a while, so it's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
we look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at the Kickstarter. So this is another Kickstarter going on. Tonight we're only talking Tales of the Collective people. So if you're watching this, by the way, and you're in Tales of the Collective, you're more than welcome to come on. But if you're not welcome tonight. You're not.
I got in the back doorway because I have it coming out eventually, because I'm in the collective, the future.
That's
collective.
the trick. You just pretend you're coming on, like say you're giving us stuff. So Todd McFarlane, if you want to put Spawn in the collective, Eric Larson, if you're watching Savage Dragon's fine. Rob Liefeld, something about pouches, whatever you got going on,
Malformed feet, yeah.
So you need 2 more for 100 backers, which would be great.
Yeah.
And you're almost funded. You're very close.
Getting close.
Oh, we will get there.
So, tell us a little bit about this book, about the series.
So the book takes place 200 years in the future in a world where people no longer die. So everybody in this universe is immortal, but nobody has powers. No one has abilities. So it's not a world full of ageless vampires or superheroes. Instead, it's a world where we have a decapitated head who still functions in society. So there's a group of 5 people who live in the underground, which is where all the outcasts of that society are forced to live. And they're out looking for relics so they can discover why people became immortal, because their goal is to restore the natural life cycle and save humanity by killing them.
Sweet.
You want everyone to die in my book of natural causes eventually.
And this is a slightly new branding, right? In this book, it seems to be a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. And this is for issue 7 and the trade, correct? You can
I have a regular and a hardcover of the trade, and then issue 7. And what I'm finding in the campaign is more people are just coming in for issue 7 that have been reading all along. And of course, when you don't have a trade, it's the question you get every day. Oh, when's the trade coming out? I'll wait for that. Now here it is. So I'm thinking at the cons, that's where it's really going to move, because people want to wait and just get that. But what I'm seeing in this is the people, they want to keep going in the series. They want to keep reading it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and what is issue 7's cover? Is that
issue 7's cover? If you go down, I don't have they're not lettered yet, so I can show you. There's 3 different ones. That's the first.
Yes.
Actually, no, that's a splash page. So sorry, go down more.
Cover?
My mistake. No, that's just one of the splash pages. That was a extra page added to the trade, because I'm adding 6 new pages and an epilogue that wasn't in the original series. So let's see. There's the trade covers.
Yeah,
those are fully lettered.
Oh, this is
the standard cover for issue A, or for issue 7. That's going to be the short print one that I do only 25 copies of.
Okay.
And then that one is going to be the foil cover.
Nice. And you love the CGC, and you got some original artwork to buy. So there's some lot of cool stuff. And for people who are watching us from Florida, he's not afraid to fly out to Florida cons. He came to Tampa Bay. Yeah,
I had a great experience in Tampa. I'd love to get back to Florida for another show.
Which is the craziest, because when he asked me, hey, you coming to Tampa? I was like, I can't sell in Tampa, but Ed had a different experience.
Yeah, it was actually the best con that I've done. I mean, of course, you take the travel cost and that throws it all out the window.
Sure.
But as far as moving units, I sold more books there than I have at any other show. I think San Diego might have topped it, but still, that's a massive con as compared to Tampa.
I mean, if San Diego doesn't top it, San Diego's doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you're doing something wrong in San Diego.
Yeah, if I can't beat it in San Diego, then I'm the one that messed up.
Well, Ed, where are you in California?
I'm in the Inland Empire. If you know that, I basically give people the proximity to LA. We're about 50 miles east of LA.
Wait,
Say the name again.
Oh, Inland Empire?
That sounds like super medieval.
Right, I have so many questions about where you live and how you live. Is the Warriors not a documentary?
We gotta fight them off nightly. I keep a sword in the office so I can slice them down.
That's weird.
Well, we have MegaCon coming up in March, so we're still trying to secure everything that we're going to be doing for that. But we are going to set it up more for creators to be there. So we're looking forward to that, kind of getting some things going there. So now Ethan's leaving us.
Well, Ethan's doing something. I don't know what's going on.
He's had enough of us.
I misplaced my sword. I literally have a sword in here.
I was waiting. Are we going to show office weapons?
Oh,
Yeah,
dude!
I have
I'm in.
sword. It's up.
I've got
Chieftain's cookery. Yeah.
I've got an axe.
So, yeah. Does everybody have their? Oh, wow.
I also have an axe.
Everybody.
I got little crosses on my sword.
My Axl Rose goes slash. So
Oh man, I have my Rush Funko Pops in here somewhere, but
Dude,
I'm in the middle of like
respect.
my studio is like got all kinds of cleaning going on, so it's a little ridiculous.
I got a bunch of vinyl albums. I can go Shaun of the Dead and toss them at some zombies.
Here you go.
So David Lee said that's high concept. It's interesting. Did Ed struggle with any part of the story trying to hit significant beats or Moffat's with the concept?
Motifs.
Yeah. I actually said that on purpose because of stuff. I'm just thinking of a lot of heroes getting their stories and impetus and the death of loved ones and all that.
And I'm sorry for editing you. That wasn't cool.
No, you're good. You're good. Someone needs to. Have you seen my face?
I think when I write the story, I write out every character's arc so that I kind of know where each one needs to go. And I play a juggling game where I have a lot of moving parts in some issues. And I have to know exactly the trajectory of each character before I even start writing the actual draft of it. So I'll sit down and kind of take notes of, okay, each character needs to move in these different directions in this issue. And I know where their ultimate goal in the end of the series is going to be. So I have to just keep pushing them forward to that particular place. And sometimes I find that easier sometimes than doing the actual writing to get them there, because I know where they need to get. And then it's kind of like, all right, how do I write the pages? Because that's where I'll sit there and battle and stare at the blinking cursor on the screen that's not doing anything for me. Even though I know where the characters need to go, I can't find the right ways to tell it visually. But knowing where the characters need to go and trying to give each one their own individualized personalities is something that's probably my favorite thing to do. Just make sure each character stands on their own.
You're 9 episodes or issues in, man. Have you had any moments along the way? I mean, I'm actually genuinely asking this because I'm not there for the outline part. I get the script done.
Yeah.
So I'm genuinely asking, do you have moments or have you had moments along the way where one of the characters is like, yeah, I know you had this plan, but actually this is more where I want to go? Like, has there been any of that where you felt like actually organically I'm going to have to do this differently because it's reading differently to me now?
There's definitely been moments like that. I think the final ending of the book is the only thing that it's kind of concrete because I know how I want it to end, but where the characters go along that path, I've had a lot of changes through the way. Where I mean, Father, with issue 9, that's Father's origin story. And I wrote something completely different for it to start. And this was just one of those things I was doing my normal thing, just out on a run, and something struck me. I'm like, okay, wait, I want connections to this character that it wouldn't have had initially. So yeah, it's a lot of the pathways have changed. It's not one straight line that I did originally intend, but I think that's what you have to do. You have to be willing to adapt, knowing that they're going to still have the ultimate same ending. It might look differently because I'm sure with the amount of issues left, a lot of things can change.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so we're about at the hour mark. We got 10 minutes left to go. I'm going to do some spitball questions real quick. Ask about a thing. We got a decent amount of viewers, so I'm willing to stay on if anybody wants to, probably another half hour or so, but you don't have to. You can leave at 11. But I want to bring a couple of questions, spitfire questions to various people. So we're going to start with you, Pete. Ready?
All right.
How does it feel to be in Jonathan Hedrick's shadow and having to live in his universe and create things in his universe?
It feels fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Jonathan's a really good friend, and he's given good input throughout the entire process. In fact, I felt like I needed to share everything with him because ultimately his name's involved in it. And I wanted to make sure that it was kind of where he wants it. And of course, I'm his editor on Quicksand. So we've collaborated pretty well together in the past as well.
But yeah. It's one of the things that's cool about it. I think you don't want to sell it short either. You got to write a book that has some sort of a legacy, right? It's a small legacy, right? But it does have it's Second Sight. It produced it. It's been in tons of comic stores throughout the world. It was one of their better sellers. Brendan has a whole bunch of a variant cover with Donny Cates on it that you can get at any time at the store.
Yeah, we got some stuff. Yeah,
you got some stuff, but it's been around for a while and has a little bit. I think that's cool and a unique opportunity, right? Like that, not everyone gets a chance to do is write somebody else's thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it was kind of one of those things where when I approached him about it, I had it in my head. He's gonna be like, "Oh, that's nice," kind of like pat, and then I'd walk away from it and maybe change a couple things about it and try to do it on my own. But I mean, he jumped at it. He was like, "Let's do this. Let's make it happen." So it's been a good ride.
Nice. So this is Brendan and Ethan. So what's the next plan? Is it a single issue? Is it going to be a series? Are you going to try to commit to? How many are you committing to next year? I know we're committing to something next year. What's it going to look like? We need to know.
Oh yeah, we've got dates. We've got everything all set up.
Oh,
so,
nice.
This falls into place. All you got to do is set a date, and there's nothing stopping it, right? It's just we're running a store. We're talking about expanding the store. We're talking about doing all of these things, and somewhere in there, we've got to go ahead and bring this script to life.
Well, based on Ethan, if you tell him that you need a cover, he'll get it fast. So if you just set deadlines and dates, I think you make a joke, but I think that's a possibility.
I just need to tell him I need it tomorrow, not like 6 weeks from now. See, that's what kind of works. People work good under deadlines, so that's kind of the thing there. So
yeah, I am so busy too. It's like I've got my own series. I'm writing a second series. So, and the series that I'm doing now is the one I've been working on for 5 years or something. So it's going to be 6 issues and done. So I'm really looking forward to getting that done. So, but yeah, it's crazy. We're all real busy. I guess that's a good problem to have.
And you just did a cover for an indie book too, right?
That's right. I'm like, wait, I did? Yeah, Hardly Heroes. I did a variant for issue number 5. And that was earlier in the year. What's really strange is the whole idea of the publishing thing is like we work on things so far ahead that by the time it hits market, there's like what you're doing right now is so different than where you were. So you're like, wait a minute, what did I do? Or I'm like, yeah, I know I drew that, but what was going on when I was drawing it or whatever. But yeah, the Hardly Heroes guys are great. Those guys, those guys are busy and they promote real good. We're very impressed with them.
Yeah, I like them a lot. I like them a lot. So they're really good. Chuck, are you actually there? I know you're eating. No, he's not. He's not actually there. Though I like the picture of the book and the face. It's good. It's good. I'm glad. I'm glad I have him here to represent that. So we're gonna go to you, Ed.
All right.
So class of 2023, Tales of Collective, because as Ethan just said, we planned these far ahead, right?
Yeah.
You've known for probably about 4 months. Is that probably accurate? That you were in and that we got you recruited.
Yeah.
And now you're on the show, and now we're starting to get it. We're starting to flesh out who's in that book because it's got you. We've got Austin Zajowski doing his zombie book, so we'll have zombies in that issue as well. What else is in that? I can't remember. Good segue. But the question that I have for you is, what is this isn't something you've ever done, right? You've only self-published. So
yeah, this will be my first time in something else, which is fun. That's the ultimate goal, because self-publishing, it's great that you can do it, but it's nice to be somewhere else and something else to put on my table. Because if I can't sell them on Immortal Era, I got nothing else. Like maybe buy a sticker. That's all I can offer you. So it'll be good to have something else. So like, okay, well, how about this? Here's a taste of Immortal Era with some other things that you can give a shot. So my goal is to get more variety on the table next year, and this is really going to help with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the point that when Danny pitched it to Brendan and pitched it to me is, the whole goal of this is to give you 4 tastes of books that you can get at the collective. And if you like them, they can turn you on to any of these 4 books. They have copies of the shelf. And since their indie books are harder to sell, this little book helps sell those other books is the goal, right? That's the goal anyways. Hopefully it's working, Brendan, right? It's working?
Well, I think you guys have, Ed hasn't been down here, but I mean, everybody else has been in the store. You can see we dedicate a lot of space to just a lot of small press and a lot of indie stuff. It's kind of what when we say the collective, it's kind of what we're doing. We take it a little bit seriously. So they're not all, we don't put them in place of Marvel and DC. We keep them in there because it's kind of like what we look at as the people that are going to be publishing bigger books later on down the road and what we can get to. So for us, it's been good. It's been fun. We feel like we're out of space all the time, but we do make space for the things that we like, and that's what we've been doing. And our customer base really appreciates it, because you go into a lot of comic book stores these days, not telling anybody how to run their comic book store, but there's the same book across like 10 spaces because they've got one book there. They're not really carrying. And we've got issues where we're trying to get issues on issues and space on top of space. So, but we've got some things coming up to help work with that too. So,
yeah, I wish I had discovered you when I went to Florida, because travel cons are always tricky. And if I had known you were there, I would have definitely come in, at least said hi. And it's, now it's kind of like, all right, now when I get back to Florida, but there's a lot of moving parts to get me into any travel cons.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen, we do our own, where we bring our own people in, but it's just one of those things. I guess we're still relatively new in doing all of the stuff that we did. The collective has been around since we just hit 4 years. So before that, I was with another comic store. We split that up, but this is kind of more what we're looking to do. So and it's more in line with what I want to do. And now I don't have to go in and fight with anybody to go do the right thing. So this is what we feel like we should.
Because like you said, so many comic shops don't even bother stocking indie. So the fact that you're not only stocking but showcasing them, because a lot of them will stock you, but they're just going to stuff you alphabetically next to the Marvel and the DC, and no one's walking into any given comic shop thinking, ooh, I need this new issue of Immortal Era, because they never heard of it to begin with. So if an indie shop or if a comic shop doesn't showcase you in some way, put you on the counter, say, oh, this is from a local artist, then basically you're just going to disappear. You're going to disappear amongst the big guns in the industry.
And I've seen that. I was out at a guy's shop out in Austin, Texas, and in there it was just like the local. It was a whole rack full of just the local talent. So I mean, that allows people to say, "Hey, you can go get my book at this place." And so I always liked that idea. It just wasn't anything that I could get off the ground before. And we had a guy, Trey. Trey comes into the store, and he had come in when we were part of that chain, when I was part of that chain, and he came into the store in Altamont, and he was like, "Do you do anything with indie publishers, with like self-publish and all that?" And he was like, "No, we don't have anything like that." Now we fast forward, we've got Danny here, who's just a big fan of comics, and that's, now all of a sudden it's like, yes. And now we see these people in the store much more often. And it does kind of give it an energy to the store that we've kind of embraced. So,
yeah. I mean, Danny, everyone knows Danny in the local community, which I think is great. He's out in a lot of the forums and he's talking, even after hours, he's out here hanging out with us. If he wasn't at this movie, he'd be messaging, "Hey, can I get an invite to come on real quick and talk about the shop and stuff like that?" But I think the other thing to note too is you were kind of a pioneer in that, but I've seen a couple of the other Orlando stores kind of open up the doors to indie. And I think that's because they see the difference of what you guys are doing, and they're doing their own little things too, which I think is awesome as well, because that's only going to help the indie comics community to hopefully get one of these people to do something to get to the next level. That'll help everybody, right?
I mean, if you believe in what you're doing, then you've really got to go with just more than the DC and Marvel. You really do. The Image comics, I mean, they're great. People like them, they want them, but there is so much untapped talent out there and there's so many just untapped ideas that people haven't done. So kind of bring them to life. And it's amazing the people that then really are coming in that will subscribe to these books. I want to know when the next one comes out. So I think it's been really good. I mean, if we're, like we said, we're going to say we're community, we put in the name. So that's kind of what we've been embracing since then. It's really worked out for us.
Nice. So Chuck, it's your Spitfire question now.
There we go.
I mean, I yelled it before, but it was all you did was hold up a book. Just kept pitching another book to us,
Okay. That sounds like something I would do.
Your luxury when you go away is you just holding your book.
Yeah, it's me with Essence House.
So to that, Chuck, and he refused to answer any questions. So hopefully you're a little bit more pleasant.
Yeah, I am much nicer than him. He's a douche.
He's a douche.
Yeah, he is.
That's American, Chuck. We've got Canadian.
That's right. There you go.
So this is the first time. No, actually, is it the first? Is this the first time somebody else has drawn pages of Bell?
No.
No. So
we had in the Advocator, we had another Link story. We had Link's origin story, and that was penciled by Mark Zuptik. So
I don't even know who that is. But
he did one book of his own series that died really quick. So no, yeah. But he's a really solid penciler, and he did a wonderful job. No.
I think it's a great thing. So it's cool to collect these. One of the things that I think that your strength in the indie community and why you and I become friends is you and I are basically we're talking about our 2022 plans in 2019. Where you're always thinking of where you're going to the next thing. And you have 100% made these short stories to build to help buff the trade, so you don't have to eat it all at the end, which is great, and trying to buff that up and supporting the community. So what's it like to be part of these, especially when you just finished a hell of a campaign? You just finished. It was a uphill battle. It wasn't like stretch goals. Last week was the only time you were ahead. Kept falling behind and having to keep working up. What's it like to be back on the grind to pitch the book again?
It's fun. This actually wouldn't have happened because I didn't necessarily know that I was going to do anything. But you guys had said, "Hey, man, do you want to do a Belial for the Halloween?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's not a bad idea." And then both Eric, who penciled this, and Sean, who is the co-creator, they both within like literally the same day or a couple days, we're like, man, I need to do some anthologies and get myself out there more because all I do is my own stuff. And I was like, well, they asked us if we wanted to do Link. Do you guys want to do that? And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll write something else. So it was nice because it was the first time with that series where I got carte blanche because it is Sean's original creation. Belial was. And so even like, yeah, technically the other Link story was me, but that was something we both wanted to tell that story. And it's already kind of a story that is in mythology. So I didn't have that open check, that blank check, so to speak. So this one, it was like, I can do anything I want. And Link, I've never hidden it, is one of my favorite characters of the series. I have so much fun doing him and whatnot, and he's just so much fun to write. And so it just all one day in a car ride just came together, and I was like, oh crap, here we go, this is it. And you guys get to enjoy the ride in the Collective issue 3.
Nice. And this is the first time officially in it. You've edited a few things, but you've never actually been in it. So.
Yeah, I edited I think 3 pieces in the first book. So yeah.
How about 2? Did you get anything in 2?
I don't think I did, but I'm disappointed I didn't.
Let's see.
And then in this one, I got.
Did you edit Cosmic Legacy?
I edited the main title, but I didn't edit that short.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think I did, anyways. No, dude, I never know. Like, it's funny. Someone recently sent me a picture of a comic, and I had never actually spoken with this person much. And shocker, I don't even know I got sent a picture of a comic, and I'm like, that's cool. It looks neat. And the guy was like, no, man. He said, my cousin brought this from Cincinnati. We met up at a family reunion, and he knows that I'm an indie comic fan. So he brought this comic, and he was like, look, my buddy wrote it. And he opened it up, and he goes, look, my buddy edited it. I'm like, oh, crap, I did that book? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't even remember that I'd done that. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, I lost your audio. Travis,
yeah, you're muted, buddy.
I said that happens way more to you than anybody else in the industry. Most people
it's a good feeling.
Yeah, most people don't have that problem, Chuck.
Right.
Normally when we're promoting, when I have Chuck on a promoting thing, I'm like, so does anybody have anything to promote? Chuck's like, yes. And then I actively search to see if there's something else just to go, there's always one more, Chuck.
You caught me with, and I remembered it this time. Concrete Arcanum. You caught me with that one. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We're in that one too.
Skepticism.
That's not skepticism.
That would not be.
But all right, so let's go through the Kickstarter one more time. Take a look at it. Talk about the 29th, and then we'll finish up on Ed's book because I mean it lives forever. You know, it's
yeah.
There's a lot of what I love about a book. It has immortals, it has swords, and it has head chopping. No quickening, but it's got everything else that I like about Highlander. So like that's why I'm all in. And they're not making any Highlander, so why not? Like somebody's got to do it, right?
No WB TV shows? Come on.
Would The Descent make a good WB TV show, Brendan?
No. God, no. God, no. Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Say whatever you want. It's my channel. It's not yours. It's not going out to you. You're good.
You can say that. You can say that. Yeah, there we go. Like,
all right. So we've got 2 backers, which is great for tonight. Again, we still have a little bit to go for the goal. We only got 10 days left, guys. So please, there are some stuff so we can get to stretch goals. You can get issue 1 and 2. And that includes stories from Capable, Voodoo Nations, Viserion Tales, Pop Van Winkle's Cosmic Legacy, 47 Furious Tales, Baron, all sorts of cool stuff, Final Growth. There's some good stuff in there, so you don't want to miss any of the past issues. And then the Halloween special has Baal, Descent, Fang and Foul Play, Freak Show Herald. Like I said, 3 of those books have a strong fan base that I'd love to see jump back on here. And then Descent is building its fan base right now, where Ethan just killing covers left and right.
Thanks.
And then we've got this Emily, our 16-year-old. She's 16, right? 18, 20.
She is 17 now. Yeah.
Our little girl is growing up.
She really is. She really is.
I clicked the streamer permission and everything. This is a travesty. Can I back it? Yes, you can. Please. We
would love it if you did. Yeah.
I do feel it's almost criminal that she has this much talent at 17 years old.
Right?
It's almost
I'll tell you,
like not fair. So
yeah. That's my favorite is it's the story I always tell everybody when they start asking me about it. I actually have the picture that goes along with it. When my daughter was 8, she did this drawing, and it's Princess Peach from Mario, and half of her is good, half of her's bad. So there's like a peg leg, and like her clothes are rotting off, and half of it's good. The day before, she was doing stick figures. And she hands me this thing, and I said, what in the world is going on? How did you figure this out? She says, oh, I watched this thing on YouTube about how to draw, and it seemed interesting, so I did this. And my words right to her were, I hate you. I did 5 years of art school, and at the tail end of it, I went, I'm fighting everything constantly. Computers are easy. I'm going to go work on computers now.
Wow.
That's a story I kind of tell. I get asked a lot, especially when Emily and I do cons, about that. And I always tell the story about this picture. This is the actual picture.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is amazing.
Facebook user, we still don't know who you are, but thank you.
That's actually Kyle. It's Kyle Willis, is who it is.
It's Kyle Willis. Yes, you can. Yes,
Okay.
you can.
I have to
Kyle
step
Willis.
out. My wife is calling me home. But I did want to say I look forward to seeing everybody on the 29th. That's from 10 until 3 on the 29th. So anybody that is within 1,000 miles wants to come out, we're going to be here. We're going to have costume contests. You can even bring your pet and dress them up. So they're eligible for the costume contest too.
Oh, cool.
And that pet can be anything. Could be a child. If your child's not good enough to win in the one thing, they can win in the pet thing. So that'll work. You look forward to it. We're going to have some live music. We're going to have trick-or-treating, and we'll have the people with talent doing sketches for kids. I would never do that. So that would be
and speaking of which, I was told by my daughter earlier today that if for some reason she was going to get scheduled for work on the 29th, that she will call in and say she can't make it. So Emily will be there with me.
Oh, that's
that
awesome.
will be
Nice.
great. So yeah, she could
Well,
plan
yeah, the
ahead.
Bag Brothers. Let's
I've got my other talent that you don't want to crush by not letting me.
but we'll also have the Bag Brothers from California. So they're coming in. They're on vacation. They wanted to meet me for lunch, and I said, I have some great time. It's at the Collective on the 29th. Well, and they're like, yeah, I'll meet you. I'll have lunch there. Fantastic. So
We'll have a
They're
food
great.
truck too. It's barbecue, so that's going to be good.
Bring your signing hand.
but will they have egg rolls?
Oh, those were so good.
That's
They're
not
so-
in my department.
Chuck,
Blame
they
Danny
bring-
if the food truck does not have what you're looking for.
Danny has literally promised me. I've talked to the man and said, hey, can you make sure you have it? He shows up next time, no egg rolls. It's a travesty.
No egg rolls. Yeah. It was, and he says, oh, I've got a soccer game that day. It's like, well, you probably wouldn't have had egg rolls anyway. So we'll give somebody else a shot at it.
Right.
If you have egg rolls, I may make. See, Charlie.
Egg rolls, they were egg rolls with meat and cheese in them. They were like, yeah. So
Right, but we'll be there. We'll be signing, that. We'll have some Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. We'll have, Voodoo Nations 3. The collective cover hasn't made it. Butt Van Winkle's exclusive cover will make it. So it's going to be a lot of really cool things. So
This is a tier on the Kickstarter.
Eccles is a tier on the Kickstarter.
Hey, we're up to 57.
57. Look at
Woo!
Woo! Cooking with gas.
Nice.
Indeed.
So, but thank you, Brendan. Thank you for allowing this to happen. Thank you for allowing
guys.
all of us comics people to come into your store and
Thank you. Yeah.
supporting indie. We really appreciate it.
we are here. We are here for you. All right, guys.
I'm going to head out as well, guys, too. It was
All
great
right.
being here. Thank you.
Good night, gentlemen.
That's good meeting, man.
Yep. See you
Good to
soon.
meet you, too. See you guys on the 29th.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
The descent has descended.
We have descended.
But guys, let's not, even though we're talking about Tales of the Collective, let's not forget about the Immortal Error. It is still at 98. Let's try to get it some love. It's a great book.
Yeah.
Davey Lee's, you should give it some love. Come on. I would love to get it to 100 tonight, guys. If you can, let's try to give it some love. You can get the trade. You can catch right up on the series. Very good book. He's a great guy. And, you know, if you impress him enough, maybe he'll come and do a signing out in Orlando with us. He'll hang out.
Hey, if there's egg rolls, I'm there. It seems to be the deciding factor.
Yeah, right.
Right. Where are these egg rolls?
I'm not as worried about the egg rolls, but if Charlie Stickney's there, I'll be there. So you get the egg rolls, Charlie will come along, and then I'm right behind.
Nice.
Right. Damn. Yeah, all right. I don't think you guys understand about these egg rolls. So I sat there and I ate the tastiest steak and cheese egg roll in my entire life. It was the best food. I literally shouted in glee to everyone there that this is the best food I have ever tasted. So I sent my wife immediately to go get me more of this delicious thing. And she comes back because she's a good wife with a few more egg rolls and lasagna. She was on a diet. She didn't get to try them, so I get to eat them all for myself. But then it was Chuck or David or somebody was like, I need to try these. And I said, there's no more. None to be had. I have them all. The guy said they're out. They go out, and mysteriously they come back with egg rolls. And then someone else goes, and I'm like, babe, you said there was no more egg rolls. I bought all the egg rolls. Why are other people eating my right? So the guy, when he said there's no more egg rolls, means he just doesn't have any currently made. That's not the same thing. But it worked because everyone bought like packages of 4 of these egg rolls because they thought they were the last. And rubbing it in my face is way more important than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
But yeah, these egg rolls are fantastic. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. And if they don't have them, I'm going to punch Danny in the face. It's just, yeah. So yeah, 98 back. Tell people why they need to back this, Ed. Tell them. Let's try to move this up a little bit. Davey Lee seems like he was interested. I don't know if he backed. Maybe David Lee. He's a good guy. He may give you a couple bucks. Tell us what we need to know.
This story is, if you're a fan of horror, I have lots of gore and, like you said, swords, immortals. But this world, it's not. There's no special immortals. Everyone's stuck immortal. So it's kind of a backwards hero's quest where they need to kill everyone to save the world. And it's got pieces of fantasy. I try to keep people guessing along the way, so you won't know what's coming at you until it gets there. And it's been something, I mean, it's been a passion project since 1998 when I started writing the initial notes on it. So it's something people that read it seem to enjoy it, and it means the world to me to even have it out there in existence. So give it a shot. I'm going to be putting a link up tomorrow for issue 1 that anyone can grab and read. So,
oh, nice. Can we play this video? Is this video safe?
Yeah, the video. Well, there's some profanity, but otherwise.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about like music.
Porn.
Give me
No, the music. I paid to get it made, so I'm sure it's okay.
Did you
If
pay
you're the
for it?
license owner, then yeah.
Who did you pay? All right, so we're gonna play the video real quick. I have to pee anyways. So how long is the video? Oh, we got 99. Yay!
Nice.
All right, let's get out. If that's David Lee, we appreciate you, David Lee. If that's Kyle Willis, we appreciate Kyle Willis even more. And
Whoever
David
it is,
Lee.
I appreciate him.
Well, actually, I appreciate them both equally in different ways. Is that so? I guess it can't be equal. I appreciate them different. Edit me. How do I appreciate them?
I appreciate them in
He
equal amount.
appreciates them in equal amounts, but in very different ways.
Right.
That works.
There you go. All right, time for the video.
We interrupt this steaming pile of sugar-coated lies for a healthy dose of reality. Stephen George here. As you can see, I have very little time to show you what needs to be seen. Hey, stop! I guarantee you by this time tomorrow, you won't give a fuck about what celebrities are shacking up or the closing numbers of the Dow Jones. Yesterday, I was fired from my job at Channel 4 because I refuse to simply nod my head and pretend that this madness was a blessing. My former colleagues wanted to smile like good little puppets. I, however, refuse to dilute the truth. What I'm doing here today may seem harsh. Some may choose to label me as a criminal, but believe me, I'm the only hero this fucking world has. If you have a weak stomach, I would normally suggest you tune out. Today, however, you need to see this, weak stomach or not. I have been told what to expect, but no words can express the horror of what I'm witnessing in this room. None of these people should even be alive. They will try to label me as crazy. Don't believe the lies. Question everything that's going to pollute your television for the next few days. Find the truth and scream it from the rooftops!
Welcome to the Immortal Era, a post-apocalyptic world 200 years in the future. Earth has become a hopeless world, one without death. With natural resources depleted, society has become fractured, with countless citizens forced to live underground in the abandoned subway systems of a crumbling city. There, our heroes are forced to fight for their very existence, while being tasked with seeking ancient relics that will help them understand the reasons for humanity's current plight. In this quest, they will attempt to uncover the keys to restoring the natural life cycle and saving humanity by killing them. Collected for the first time, this campaign offers the complete first story arc in an expanded edition with 6 brand new pages. In addition, we'll be offering the beginning of the new story arc in issue 7. Catch up or continue your journey with our newest campaign.
There we go. Immortal Era is around doing its thing, killing it. 83% left. It's 20 days to go, so it's gonna get there. What do we got for stretch goals coming up?
We've already unlocked stickers. We have we're about to hit the magnets, and then the last stretch goal I'm hoping to unlock will be another character pin. I've done all 5 of the main characters, and now we're hitting the villains. So we're going to start with the gang member from issue 1, and then we'll have Age Soldiers and Dr. Nix, eventually Tristessa. So we did our 5 good guys. Now we're going to start hitting the villains for our stretch goals.
Something he hasn't been able to talk about, because, of course, you want to tell people about the basic story, the basics of it, some of the genres and whatnot. But guys, the story involved in this is so layered and lore driven. There's so much mythos to it. 'Cause you have to understand, since the days, it's been 200 years since the
later, since the year 2000.
Exactly. So people haven't been able to die for 200 years. So there's a lot going on in here. And I mean, there's a lot of mystery involved and like I said, mythos and lore. So you're really this is an onion that's being peeled back a layer at a time, an issue at a time. There's an awful lot of story here. So guys, you are getting so much more than just, 7 random freaking comic books. You're getting one really cool, awesome story. And honestly, I believe that once you're done with these 7, you're going to be like, so wait, where's 8?
That's the hope. And see, you sold it better than me. That's why I brought you in. That's
what I do, man. That's what you paid me the big bucks for.
Is it 6 issues per arc?
6 issues per arc, yes.
You're aiming for 36 issues, right?
30 is the goal, but now it's kind of there's so many side stories I can tell. I don't think it'll ever really end, but 30 for the main story. I know pretty much the major beats of every story arc, so where everything's going to lead. And after we hit issue 12, things are going to be in complete chaos in this world, more than they are already. So kind of mild spoilers. If you read my stuff, chaos is always involved.
Nice. And you said you have a new property starting out next year.
I do. It's a new series. It's just I put the first page, and like you said, the bold move, showing a funeral. So I'm like, yes, there will be death in this series. So it's called Corruptor, and it's kind of a backwards quantum leap where a hitman is recruited by hell to bring souls down because there's a battle between heaven and hell to see who can get the most souls before the Immortal Era begins. So it's a connected universe, but basically it wasn't supposed to be connected when I was writing it. It didn't go there, but someone asked me, well, why would they want souls? And I thought, oh, maybe because they're going to stop getting them once the Immortal Era comes in. So kind of bridging the two universes. So that story will end when Immortal Era begins. So we kind of know where it has to end. I guess it's like a Better Call Saul thing. You're like, all right, it has to end eventually when the next one kicks in.
Nice. That's nice. But the cool thing about that is anybody you create in that universe could still be alive in the 200, depending on how you do it. So,
Yeah.
Years. So
we'll see characters that could exist and they would be extremely old when they hit that. But yeah, we should see some the main connective things I have right now is, okay, you see a TV screen and there's our reporter that we saw when he's still employed and happy, just being a nice journalist sitting, next to the pretty blonde. So those are the small, tiny connections, but there's going to be bigger ones eventually that I probably haven't even thought up yet.
That's right.
But this one will be a more limited series, 4 issues and done, because I don't need another 30-issue series to start juggling.
Right.
No, that's smart. And aren't you writing? Are you writing something for somebody else?
I am writing besides for you, but I'm writing a book with Luke Stone.
Okay.
And that one is called Juror 13, and it's his basic premise, but kind of taking it where it's a detective who's investigating a killer who's killing people who should have been convicted but got off on technicalities.
Okay, cool. So Punisher-esque.
Punisher-esque, yeah. I mean, Punisher, Dexter, that kind of thing. So,
you know what I found, and this is crazy. I found that your love of Dexter is in correlation to how many comics you've read. So people who've read a lot of comics don't really care for Dexter. It's not that they don't find it great or well written, but they're like, oh, I've seen that 1,000 times. Yeah. Where the people who love and embrace Dexter are the people who don't read comics at all. They're just like, oh my God, this is such an original idea. I was like, I can name like 12 characters.
Oh yeah, it's been done.
I always found that interesting when I talked about Dexter and people talk about it.
So true too.
Yeah, right. It's just interesting, what media we put into our world, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I actually wrote an email to my publisher today for Coins of Judas because the brother and sister team, they fight demons and they're called the West Guards. That's the name of their name. It's a Irish name. It's a real Irish last name. But I don't watch Supernatural. I know it's big and thing. I was like, oh, they're called something very similar, right? The Winders. Well, I don't know what they're called.
Winchesters,
right? Yeah. Very similar. They also fight not just demons, but lots of supernatural things. Yeah. Maybe I should change that name. They weren't worried about it, but it was something that came to my attention today that maybe I should be worried about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. All right. In fact, let's continue on this trend. Chuck, what are you working on right now? What's going on? What's coming up next?
Well, I mean, working on Immortal Era 9. Working on a bunch of stuff for Henri Compan. We had some meetings last night. Later this year, War Lion issue 1 should be coming out from him. And we've already moved on and started working on issue 2. We're redoing. I've been brought on to help finish Yi Sun Shin after David Allen Kraft passed away, which is huge shoes to fill. I was telling somebody, David Allen Kraft edited Hulk 181. So the fact that I get to come in and take over editing for the guy who wrote probably one of the most important books
Right.
to me personally, that's like this connection to my favorite character, Wolverine. It's a connection that I never could have imagined, and it's like the 7 degrees of Chuck and Wolverine, and I'm just like, that's so cool. So we're working away on that. That's been really neat too. Belial 4. I'm outlining it right now, and been in the car as I'm driving. So I'm working 7 days a week, and as I'm doing that, I'll like pick up my phone and I'll start, randomly start videotaping, recording myself and saying, okay, well, what if Link does this and then blah, blah, blah. So all of that is being set up. 4 is going to be the huge finish to Belial. So very excited about that. Working on that. Plus working on some short stories and a bunch more. Just got a bunch going on.
To answer his question, I did read the books. And they definitely take a lot of weird turns that you don't see in the series that people would have never embraced. The way the books just get completely bonkers at a point.
Well, if you've ever actually studied any serial killers, there's a point where you're just like, I can't relate to you anymore. Right? It always gets to that point. You're like, oh, I could see troubled youth, this, that. And you're like,
and if it doesn't, you've got some issues, man. Like, you're like, no, this guy makes complete sense. You're a fucking problem, and I'm watching you really close.
Right, exactly. And then just before I leave you, Bonfire Press separately, what does it have coming? Because I know 2023 is a huge year.
Yeah, we do. So we've got obviously Viscarian Tales issue 1. Should be going to print soon. We've got Viscarian Tales 2 being worked on. We've got, like I said, Bonfire or Belial 4. We've got. I really believe that you're going to see finally Welcome to the Void, the next issue in 2023. It's been long enough, Woo! And 5 years later, it's happening. It's about damn time. That one's going to come. And then also, of course, we've got the next Chronicles of the Essence Guard book, Children of the Essence, which should be coming next year as well.
I think because it's called Welcome to the Void, it can come on whatever the hell it wants. It's a void. Like,
yeah.
Did you feel a void while we were gone? Yes, as intended. You're welcome.
Yeah. Welcome to it.
Peter, what do you got going?
Let's see. We've got Quicksand issues 4 and 5 should be coming up relatively soon. 4 is completely done and ready to go, and 5, last I heard, was being colored. So it's waiting for me to do one last pass of it to give the thumbs up, and those will start showing up. So we've got those coming. The other big thing, of course, I have him, and my thing is Cthulhu Invades Neverland. So I'm working with Stefano Cardicelli on great story in that one. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm currently working on a couple scripts, one of which I've mentioned in the past. It's called Daughtership, that I was originally developing with my daughter. That we kind of did a long time ago, sort of a proto issue of it. I'm kind of going through and rewriting what I have of that a little bit since I started writing it before I really started writing. So I'm cleaning it up and kind of making it my script standards. And Emma's going to be doing some concept work for me. And then I'm probably going to be looking for another artist because she has quite a bit on her plate right now.
Nice. Okay. I think we're done. I think we've got everything we've got to do tonight. So thank you guys all for coming on, hanging out with us. Yes, I skipped myself on. I have too much shit going on. We're good. Tales of the Collective for now. That's the goal, to get that fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, getting this. We were at 53. We got 4 backers tonight for Tales from the Collective Initiative. So appreciate that.
Way to go, guys.
Mortal Error, we got 1, but I think we got another one out there, guys. So if you watch us on the replay, give Ed a like and share. Ed, I think you're a very talented writer in the community. I'm glad that you got Chuck on as your editor. I always invite you into anything I'm doing, so thank you for hanging out. So glad that you're part of Tales of the Collective volume for 2023. I think this is a great book. I think it's a great series. Brendan and the store at the Collective do amazing things. And if you are an indie comic creator and you have a retail package, we encourage you to reach out to them to try to get them in your store. Like, Danny is not going to be offended by that. However, I will tell you the secret. If your book is not coming out for like 6 months, don't bother. Like, they want short turnarounds, 3 to 4 months, because they want to make sure that they can get it to sell it. That you got to remember, they're used to retail. They order and stuff. So if you have a book that's coming out in a year, it's probably not going to be a good fit. It's not that you're wait till your book releases and then try to offer it to them. So that's it. Does anybody else want to say anything else before we go?
Thanks for letting me sneak in. Even though I'm technically in the 2023 version, I appreciate being on here.
No, you once you're part of the Tales of the Collective community, you're always part of the Tales of the Collective community. And just because I didn't say it this whole time, the reason why I'm involved is Orange Co-Production puts it together. We just Jerome puts the book together. I kind of review it for making sure the talent. I do talent relation kind of thing. Heather will sometimes edit depending on if someone needs it. So if someone comes to their own editor, we don't bother. But
well, and you also you work on the Kickstarter page and stuff too, right? Like
yeah, I do.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
he does a lot of work on it, guys. He really does.
So we're really proud of it. I know it gets compared to the Advocator a lot, but this is a better version of that, in my opinion. The Advocator was a great book, and it did what it was supposed to do. But the whole goal of at least Chuck and I's goal, I will say, is to get books in stores. That's what this does. It gets your book into a comic store. So whether it be 4 pages of your story or your full series, it gets you into at least one comic store. And that's our goal. And they love you. As you see the owner here, he loves having you. He loves being part of it. And that's why we do this, is to help you guys, because we know that it's really hard to get into stores. It's really hard to break that thing and even get into stores. You're not highlighted very well, as Ed pointed out. For at least this story, is something not only are you in, but it's highlighted. It's their book. Like, you can't be any more than having their name on the cover. The other cool thing they do is they make cool covers for you, which I like. Chuck's got a whole bunch of Tales of the Collective Assyrian Tales. He's going to get a whole bunch of this one. So they get cool covers. So, all right. Well, that's it. We're going to do our outro. Anyone who wants to stick around and hang out with me, you're more than welcome to, who's live. If not, go to bed. It's 11:30 at night, or 10:30 at Chuck's.
8:30 at my house.
8.
Yeah, we still got time, man.
We don't acknowledge California time. That's just Hollywood time. You just get.
I only acknowledge God's own time zone, which is Eastern.
Nice. That's true. Everyone knows that when Jesus was on the cross, he bled more from the east. But
yeah, it was just like he was. This is for all my homies in EST.
I don't know. All right. I think that's blasphemy is where we end. All right.